recording.
Namaste, beloved. The divinity that is us acknowledges and welcomes and honors the divinity that is you. We are so excited to connect with you and to share this very packed hour together with this amazing energy field that we're all co-creating together. Can you feel it? The energy has been coming in very powerfully, and miracles are already happening. Tonight we're talking about change your thoughts, change your life instantly. And I want to share something from Codebreaker.
This is it.
Buddha said, "We are what we think. All that we are arises from our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world." So when we say, change your thoughts, change your life, we could even go farther and say, change your thoughts, change your world, relying on the authority of the Buddha. And for example, if I have a glass, look at the difference of this glass being half empty or this glass being half full. There's a difference in the energy, isn't there?
There's a difference in the energy in the way you think of it.
Yes.
Your thoughts about.
Your perception.
That's right. Whether it's full or empty.
Yes.
Yeah. Whether your life is full or empty.
Whether the COVID-19 is the end of the world, or if it's the labor pains of an amazing new age. Are we looking at a lack, a dearth of opportunity, or are we looking at infinite possibilities? So that's a thought, and look at the difference that that thought will create in our mind, in our life, in our world.
And more importantly, the difference that that thought and every other thought that you have creates in the body. And so remember that every single thought you have, the brain processes it, it creates a chemical reaction to it, it creates an emotion, and the body is now reacting to the mind and to our thoughts. And that's why the body stays well and healthy and uplifted, or it gets sick and depressed and tired and anxious. So it's your thoughts. And remember, you are a sovereign being. You have the power to change your life instantly by changing your thoughts. But you do more than that. What we really, really want you to do is start extracting the mind from the body. So the body is not at the mercy of the mind. Now, when I say at the mercy of the mind, I'm really talking about the unconscious mind, which is running our show 95% of the time. And the work that Daniel and I do in the work, our legacy work, which by the way is outlined in Codebreaker, Discover the Password to Unlock the Best Version of You. It's all about working in the depths of your unconscious mind. It's being courageous enough to want to know what it is that you're really thinking from the thoughts, emotions, and decisions that you've made from the past, or as science now explains to us, that they have been passed down to us. These programs, unconscious programs, have been passed down to us through our ancestors for lifetimes. And then there's the past, present, and future lifetime phenomenon as well. So we are filled with these ideas and these thoughts that are creating an electromagnetic signature within us that has a frequency, and that frequency either repels or attracts people to you in your business, in your relationships, in every area of your life. And we say that you becoming the best version of you that changes your business, changes your relationships. It's how you show up. I had a private client who called me just before a major meeting with a New York publisher. And she said, I don't know what's happened, but I'm feeling really anxious and afraid. So we broke it down, and I discovered what the unconscious program had, what it was that had been triggered, and we neutralized those emotions, changed the thoughts, went through her marketing plan. And 3 hours later, she rang me and she said, you will not believe this. I have just been offered $1 million advance on my book. And she said, that does not happen these days. And she said, and you did that. And I just laughed and said, no, you did that. You went in, your thought process, your emotions, all that you are was totally aligned with the best, most exciting version of who you are. And quite frankly, the marketing plan that she had was quite brilliant. And I said, it didn't matter what you were marketing. It didn't matter what you were selling. They were so excited by who you were that they wanted to do business with you. So whatever you were offering them at that stage, they wanted. Can you see how important it is that your thoughts that are creating the vibration and the frequency that you're on is actually determining whether people want to work with you, want to live with you, want to have anything to do with you or not. So you can see how important this is in business. You know, we've had clients who have done our Activate Enlightenment weekends and events, and they've changed their business structure, they've changed the way they show up, their relationships have improved, and their business has 4, 5, 10x. So I wanted to show you something. Daniel will be annoyed with me because this little black dot is too big. But can you all see that black dot? Can you see it? Right. So what this is this black dot represents your conscious mind, and the white space represents the unconscious mind. Can you, yeah.
The information processing capacity of the unconscious mind is 1,000,000 times greater than the information processing capacity of the conscious mind.
Right.
So if there's a conflict between them, guess which one prevails?
Okay, the unconscious mind.
Only every time.
Every time. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to be taking you through a guided visualization. And during that visualization, you're going to discover what your thoughts were and are about yourself that would stop you from loving yourself enough to do what it takes to have the business, the relationship, the love of your life. Right? Self-love is absolutely paramount here. So if you don't love yourself, first of all, you can't love anyone else. You can pretend, but you can't love anyone else. If you're judging yourself, if you're criticizing yourself, if you're attacking yourself, then you are not being kind and loving to the most important person in your life.
How could you love anyone else more than you really love yourself?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? When you attack another person, when you judge another person, when you go to war with somebody else, your unconscious mind applies those judgments, those thoughts, those emotions to yourself. And so when you are attacking other people, you're actually attacking yourself.
Have you heard the expression, when you point a finger, 3 point back at you?
Exactly.
It's true.
It's true of how the unconscious mind processes things. So just imagine this. In your DNA, you have all of this information that is stored there. And that is what regulates your genes, either upregulates them or downregulates them. And that means your gene expression is at the mercy of your thoughts. Incredible, huh? So tonight during the visualization, we're going to do something for you that's very, very special. Last week, when we got onto our love and forgiveness meditation, we talked a little bit about the Activate Enlightenment events. And we had people email us and text us and say, hang on, I wanted to know more. What is that? You know, what's going on? How can I register? What can I do? So at the end of this event, we're going to tell you about the Activate Enlightenment live stream Saturdays that are happening in May. And we're also going to tell you about a huge bonus that we will be giving people on this call. So please stay to the end. It won't be hard, because when you get into this meditative state, you will be experiencing what it feels like to actually show up in a space of self-love for who you are, for who you have always been, but forgotten.
The way we see you was beautifully expressed by Michelangelo. He said, I see the angel in the stone, and I carve until he's set free. And the stone that we chip away are the unconscious programs, stories, ideas, and beliefs that are covering up the magnificent true self of who you are, which is love.
So in all of our events, more?
Our favorite Sufi mystic poet Rumi said, to paraphrase him, your task is not to seek for love, but to seek and find, and we will add, and neutralize the obstacles within yourself, the barriers within yourself that you have built against love. And what we say then is that when you neutralize them, that exposes the love that you are.
Mm-hmm. So some people have just come on. If you're just coming on, could you please mute yourself so that we don't have any distractions during this meditation that we're about to experience? And if you have your own meditation music, we'd say to you that you can get it and use it, because we've discovered that the music and Zoom don't go together. So we will be going into this beautiful place of silence apart from my words, and you'll be working with those words. So in all of our events, and that's why we want to do this with you tonight, we have you visualize what it feels like to go back in time to a time and space where you disconnected from the love that you are, when you disconnected from yourself. You might have been, it might have been this lifetime as a child where you were told that you were stupid or to shut up, or that, you weren't wanted. You might have been an orphan, or you might go back into a past life or an archetypal story where you looked at what you were doing and you thought, I'm a bad person. I don't deserve love. So whatever it is that you discover, this is going to be a voyage of discovery for you. Now, when you're on this voyage of discovery, you've got a very important job. We want you to discover what happened, what you felt, what were you feeling, what were the emotions? Because during that time of emotional trauma and grief, you made decisions, and those decisions have been locked in your unconscious up until this moment. And so tonight you're going to clear those decisions out of your system to change the way your genes express. This is so exciting. This is all science-based, which is even more exciting. And we want you to come into this place where you're really willing to love yourself enough to be in silence, to turn off your phones, to close the doors if there are other people in the home, or bring them in with you so they can experience this too. We'd also like you to have your intention clear, because we do. This is a global gathering. There are many countries represented here tonight, and we want you to have your intention clear that the healing energy that is created, and there'll be a huge vortex of energy around this planet that's created because we're meeting here with this focus tonight, that healing energy is not only used by yourself, your own body, mind, and soul, but it's used for your family, your friends, those you love, and all of humanity. So tonight, with the world going through the challenges it's going through, can you have in your heart, and this will be your way of giving back, it'll be your way of committing to giving your time and energy and love to others. So just think of the people that you know and love, and humanity whilst we're doing this meditation, and know that they will be receiving this beautiful high frequency energy field at the same time we are. And even better news, and that is that on a quantum level, when you're watching this replay and you're going through the meditation again, or if somebody can't make it because they're on the other side of the world, when they come in, they'll be adding to this co-creative quantum energy field of healing. That's what I find even more exciting. So if you are ready to move into an event where you will be doing some work, you'll be following my words. Now, we want you to use your imagination. If you're not getting anything, use your imagination. There should be nothing stopping you from getting this and actually changing the way the brain wires and fires, the way the genes regulate, the way your heart and brain comes into this cohesive state. So if you're ready, I'm going to ask every one of you to close your eyes so that you have no outside distractions whatsoever. And take in a deep breath. And in your own time, just organically letting that breath go. And breathing in again, breathing in. And letting that breath go. Allowing your bodies to be heavy in the chair, with your feet firmly planted on the ground. Know that you are safe and that you are supported. Allow those huge muscles in your shoulders to drop, just let them drop. Those tiny little muscles around your eyes, allow them to soften and relax. Relax your jaw. And with every breath you take and every sound you hear, you find yourself going deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. Feeling so good. Allowing all of the tension, the anxiety, the stress of this day to just leave the body now. Love yourself enough to let it go. Now, using your imagination, when I count to 3, you're going to find yourself in another time and space where an event happened and you felt an emotion and you made the decision that you were not worthy of being loved, where you made the decision that you were not good enough to have the love, the abundance, the life that you really want. 1, and continuing to breathe deeply, and 2, allowing the body now to get excited because it knows it's going to discover an unconscious thought process. And 3, moving back in time, moving back in time. So loving yourself enough to do this. Remember that you cannot create your destiny whilst you're holding on to the emotions of the past. So what was that familiar state of mind that created that emotion that no longer supports you? What happened? Were you a teenager, a small child? Was it yesterday or the day before? Something happened, and you might have said something or done something, or someone else triggered off this familiar feeling of not being good enough, of self-loathing, of attack, of judgment of self. What was the event and what were you feeling? And what was the decision that you were making? Did you decide that you would never have a loving relationship? Did you decide that you were not beautiful enough, smart enough, that you were not perfect, What are those familiar negative thoughts that no longer serve you? What were they? Moving into the unconscious and discovering the stories that you put to the events and emotions that hurt you, or where you hurt someone else. Often it's, I'm a bad person. I don't deserve love, don't come near me. Yes, betray me. Yes, hurt me. What were the thoughts? Now we're going to introduce you to your true self. So we want you to imagine, see, feel and know a column of white light coming in and down and through you, pulling at your feet in violet and purple light. And this white light is the perfection that you are, the wonder that you are. It's your connection to your source, to your divine mind. It is all wise and knowing. And it has no judgments of you whatsoever. It is simply here to love and support you to wake up. So introduce yourself to your true self and admit to your true self who you've been and what you've been hiding about yourself. Remember, your true self never judges you. It can only ever love you. Now say to your true self, I surrender this emotion. I surrender this story. To your true self that is in and around and through you as you. Surrendering these emotions and these stories to the perfection and the divinity that you are, that is your true self. And tell your true self, I'm ready. I'm ready to change this state of mind. I'm ready to change these feelings that are so familiar to me. I'm ready to stop attacking and judging myself. Free the body from the mind, from the emotional binds that keep you connected to everyone and everything in your past. And your true self is radiating this white light and love as you declare to your true self who you want to be now. Who do you want to be? So surrender this state of being that you discovered to your true self and ask your true self to resolve those events, emotions, and decisions in a way that is right for you. Surrendering to this infinite mind now and understand that your true self is real and wants to support you. All right. Take a deep breath and open the door and give it up completely. Give up all of those thoughts that no longer serve you, that are perpetuating negativity, fear, and pain. Your true self is ready to dissolve each and every one of them. And ask yourself, how does it feel to know that your true self is taking these memorized emotions and thoughts and stories for you? Ask yourself this: what voice was I listening to when I perpetuated those stories that held me as an emotional captive? Those emotions that I realize I've become addicted to. What voice were you listening to? It wasn't your true self, was it? It was the ego mind voice who is a master at separating you from your heart, from the love that you are, from your source, from God. And now you're loving yourself enough to allow your true self to dissolve these stories. Taking your awareness into your heart center. Breathing deeply into your heart center. And allowing this connection to your true self to grow stronger and stronger. And then going back in time, again now, to see yourself as a small child in this lifetime. And how would you characterize your attitude toward your true self, your small child? To that little one that lives deep within you, that has been hurt and has known so much pain. If it made a mistake, if your small child was hurt, did it feel rejected, insufficient, not good enough, unloved? Just connect in with this small child that was you. Now reassure your small child. Reassure them that they are loved. That it doesn't matter what they have said or done. They still deserve love, that they are perfect in your eyes. Ask yourself, how can I get my small child? How can I help them feel better right now? This is the child who has known the grief and the trauma, has been on the other end of the judgments and the stories, and has been trying so hard and working so hard. Look into the eyes of your small child now, as we correct out of that child all of the beliefs, the programs and ideas that they're not good enough, that they don't deserve love, that they definitely don't deserve money in abundance. Let's correct that out of your small child's system, out of you, out of the body now, neutralizing and deleting the beliefs, the programs and ideas that say I'm not good enough, I don't deserve love, love and money don't come to me with grace and ease, and that's okay. I deserve to be punished. I'm a bad person. It doesn't matter what I do. Nothing is good enough. And give you 100% infinite potential to be corrected, to be strong, to know the truth. That you are a perfect divine being. And that no matter what you have said or done, you have always deserved love and support. You have always deserved an abundance of every good thing. That now, right now in this moment, we're neutralizing and deleting the karma between you and anyone who has triggered off those feelings, where you have not been able to come into that place of self-love, where you have forgotten the perfection of who you are, where you've forgotten that your true self is you. Let's also neutralize and delete the karma between you and anyone that you have hurt by a word or a thought or a deed. And moving into the brain, into the neuronal pathways, and correcting out of your habit field any of those beliefs and stories that you have identified tonight that would keep you small, that would keep you from knowing the happiness and success that you have come here to experience. And let's put in a brand new soul agreement, a brand new decision and story that you will live by from this moment forward. I am a perfect expression of my true self. I deserve love, abundance, more of every good thing. And I share my unique and wondrous talents with the world with grace and ease. I trust it's safe for me to be here now. Continue breathing. Breathing deeply. Now, when I count to 3, you are going to go back in time and you are going to change the event, emotion, and decision that you discovered so that you can completely neutralize and delete the emotions that have been playing havoc with your body, your gene expression. Again, I'm going to count to 3. 1. Breathing deeply, and 2. And 3. Going back in time, back to your small child, back to that person, to those events, emotions, and decisions, and completely allow your true self now to change them the way that you want them to be. What are the changes that you're making? Allowing your true self to guide you, to guide your imagination. Loving yourself enough to change what happened, even a week ago, to change what happened when you were a teenager or a small child. See the event play out the way you would want it to, or wipe out the event entirely. It's a story. Now moving back into this lifetime, where your heart and brain now have found that natural rhythm and coherence. And feel what it feels like to be love. For that is the truth of who you are. You, a perfect divine being. A spark in the heart of the divine. This is who you have always been and always will be. Becoming mindful now of your old attack stories, of your old way of being. It's your job to be diligent and to know when you're feeling fear, negativity, or pain, so that you can change your thoughts, your emotions, and decisions instantly to feel better, to live as a high frequency being showing up as the best version of who you are. Continuing to breathe and allowing this white light to move in and down and through you, your true self. We're going to correct out of your body, your system, the anxiety, the grief and the trauma, not only from these past weeks and months, but from every event that you have ever experienced that hurt you. Let's neutralize and delete all of that grief and trauma out of the body. Just let it go. And any beliefs, programs, and ideas left about the fact that you're not good enough, you don't deserve money, you've never deserved money or love. Let's neutralize and let them out of the system, seeing them come out and down through this white light and pooling in that violet light at your feet where they are totally transmuted, healed, and sent back to source. Feel the freedom. Allowing the body now to just breathe deeply for a moment as it revels in the freedom of having changed your thoughts. What does it feel like? Are you smiling? And just for a moment, we will be giving you a transmission of this divine energy. Some of you will feel our hands on your head, others of you can imagine. That our energetic hands are on your head, activating the love that you are. Expanding your experience of life so that you can be more. More love, more joy, more family, more friends, more money, more of every good thing. You've become aware of the choices that you've made, the decisions and the stories that were not loving to you. And right now you're going to make the decision. That you will always be mindful of what you're thinking and feeling, what your inner GPS is telling you. And you're committing in this moment to backtracking, to recentering yourself, to staying awake to the wonder of who you are, to stop judging, attacking, criticizing, and to move back into that place of love of self. Continuing to breathe deeply, and you can stretch it out and open your eyes if you want to. And this has been a very minute experience that we wanted you to have. How many of you are feeling like you've made a shift already? How many of you are feeling that you're ready to give up self-critical ideas, that you're ready to live as the perfect divine being that you are? If you're ready to live as the best version of you, you can put yes in the chat.
If you can type.
If you can type, that's right. Yes. Okay, this is a commitment that you're making to yourself, that you are going to love yourself enough to do what it takes to live in this place. And we have designed, I love this, all of these yeses, look at them. We've designed a system, and we teach this system in Activate Enlightenment. And we've got 4 Saturdays in May coming up where you will learn 8 spiritual superpowers to clear your money blocks.
You'll experience these 8 spiritual superpowers and experience embodying them.
Yes, and this is where, I mean, there's a lot of people on this call now who've already done this incredible Activate Enlightenment event. And we did it as 3 day event 3 weeks ago. And people loved it. The only thing was, they said it was a bit like a fire hose. They went through 16 meditations, activations of energy. They were learning about what was in their unconscious that was stopping them from living in a place of peace, stopping them from being in a place of love. So they were in a place of unforgiveness and fear. But what people were learning was the Platinum Life System. And that's a system where you master peace, your natural state, love, which is who you are, awareness, where you're tapping into your own super consciousness and your own superpowers, trust, where you can move beyond worry and anxiety into that place of trust, which is so necessary right now. Integrity, again, feeling the integrity of your body, mind, and soul, the strength and the courage to stay in a place of trust and follow through. Neutrality, where you are completely neutral and you come to this place during this Activate Enlightenment experience where you are no longer having your buttons pushed by your unconscious past programs, where you master unity, where you actually feel a oneness with all life, even in this challenging time.
Especially in this challenging time.
And of course, you'll be mastering mindfulness. In other words, rather than being asleep, you'll wake up to what it is that you're thinking, feeling, and doing, and how you are affecting your own life. This is such a unique program, and it's one of those programs where you have to actually be involved in it and experience it to understand what the huge and dynamic and powerful shifts can be for you. Daniel's actually got some testimonials from some people who did our last Activate Enlightenment. And by the way, because we got the feedback that it was like a fire hose, we live by divine guidance, and we said, okay, let's tap in. What is it that is going to work best for you, especially at this time? And we got this 4.5-hour blocks of time every Saturday from the 9th of May onwards for 4 Saturdays, so that in between that, we all get to integrate the energy, use the tools, use the techniques, and stay in this heart, mind coherent place.
Support one another in a private Facebook community.
Exactly. So this is a really important event. If you love yourself enough to invest in anything over the next few months, believe me, this is it. This is about how you show up. It's about how you master your state in any given moment. It's whether you stay depressed in a place of trust or not. It's how you take your business forward. So this is so important. This event will actually help you get maximum return on your investment of everything that you have done up until this moment. And I know that's a big statement, but that's the feedback that we have had, that you can absolutely do the most amazing programs on the planet. And yet there's these unconscious negative programs that you don't even know are there that are stopping you from implementing the business ideas, stopping you from getting and having the love that you want. Whereas as you go through and learn this platinum system and what is blocking you from living it, all of that drops away and there's this aha moment. Oh, so that's why this business didn't work. Oh, so that's why I haven't made the money I know I can make. And there are these aha moments that are phenomenal. So don't take our word for it. Here's Daniel.
Asking powerful questions is one of the most amazing things we can learn to do and become proficient at. And can you think of a better question to ask than what would the best version of me do here? And making that a default question so that you can begin to embody the answer is part of the Platinum Life System, which we embody during the Activate Enlightenment program. This is from Marcy Bratman. Sandra and Daniel's Activate Enlightenment is a life changer. How can you put into words the magic and miracles that occur with your teaching and cutting-edge transformational techniques? You're a power couple, and I'm in awe of the way you interact together. Daniel has vast knowledge and insight. Sandra has remarkable healing abilities that have to be experienced to understand the magnitude of change you can expect. Sandra and Daniel embody being high vibrational beings. After 3 days, I feel calm and connected to myself and inner wisdom in a more profound and deeply meaningful way. I let go of unconscious programs that kept me stuck and weighed down. Also, I highly recommend a private session with Sandra. I flew from Florida to have a private session in LA, and I can't wait to do it again. Thank you.
Now that brings us to the point that for each one of you who are ready to say yes to working with us in the Activate Enlightenment live stream Saturdays, we are going to give you, for those of you who are on this call, we are going to give you an incredible bonus. And that is a half an hour, $1,500 private one-on-one session with me. And that's if you invest in the Activate Enlightenment 4 Saturdays with us and pay in full, because you have the option to do one Saturday at only $297. That was the other guidance that we got, was to make this as inexpensive and as accessible as we can for you to make these profound changes. My private clients invest $3,000 an hour to work with me. So we want to give you a half an hour private session, the value at $1,500 as a bonus when you decide and make the decision to love yourself enough to invest in the Activate Enlightenment live stream Saturdays. And we'll put you're in the Facebook group, we'll actually put the link in there so that you can go to and register for either all 4 Saturdays to get the $1,500 one-on-one session with me, or just one day at a time. Whatever feels right for you in this moment to move you forward. That's the thing that has to happen now. We want you to expand into more of who you are. We want you to remove the unconscious blocks and the negative thinking that would stop you from moving forward, not just now, but when this pandemic and this challenge is over on the planet. You need to be ready. You need to have things in place. You need to be showing up in a way that supports not only you to thrive, but also supports your family and your loved ones and the planet. Do you want to read one more?
Sure.
I think he wants to read one more.
Vijay Khatri said, I experienced states of love, peace, joy, and awareness that surpassed anything I've experienced before. I released so much and came into my sovereign power, knowing on a deeper level that I'm always at choice and have the power to choose again. I felt totally supported and held in a sacred and powerful container by Sandra and Daniel. This was one of the most profound experiences of my life. I'm filled with so much gratitude and highly recommend working with Sandra and Daniel for exponential growth and healing.
So they're just some of the benefits. And I know that Chris Menzel and Doria and a lot of the people on this this meditation with us tonight have actually completed an Activate Enlightenment event. And some of you, a few of them, and you keep coming back for more. So if any of you would like to unmute yourself and just say what this has been like for you, please do so. Who's that? I think somebody just unmuted themselves.
I didn't, but I can.
Okay, Gloria, welcome.
Oh, as usual, I'm just so expanded right now. I can hardly speak. I just, after being, 2 hours with people from around the world, and quite a few of them came over, and I'm so pleased for them that they did. I'm just so expanded and healed. I feel like I'm healing a certain aspect of my body right now, and I could actually feel it in my tummy.
Oh, I'm so glad, Doria, because that was my intention with tonight. I knew that you were going through something, and I also knew that there was quite a few people on this meditation who came here specifically for healing as well. And Doria, you've done Activate Enlightenment twice now, and I know that you got so much out of it. So I want to thank you for being one of the world's greatest masters, but also for being one of the world's greatest students. You were quite incredible the way you throw yourself into the teachings and the weekend, and how you supported others as well.
Well, thank you. I actually, for those that know me, it was in the first Platinum that I did when I chose to change my name from DC to Doria. Mm-hmm. And that was such a shift. I know it doesn't sound like a big thing, but it really was, because I was so connected to Washington, D.C. And it doesn't sound like a big thing, but I really was, in a way that it wasn't empowering to me. And so that immediately, vibrationally, it shifted me so deeply. It's an amazing thing. That's just one of the things. And then it just feels like, we keep working with you. And thank you for that beautiful session I had with you privately a few days ago. But we keep working with you. So now it's become a habit. We go from my events to here. So it kind of like wraps them up.
Yeah.
And I think that we are so traumatized. I don't feel it. I'm very peaceful going through this process, but the world is not. Mm-hmm. And I feel so affected by it at some level. It's not like a really hurtful level because I have a lot of personal strength, but I'm in pain. There's a part of me that's in pain for all my brothers and sisters that are so scared. And so I feel like whenever we do these, and I just keep doing this, that it disengages me from the world.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we do these, Doria, because we need them. Teachers, I'm just going to do this so that we can unpin video so we can see you when you speak. It's really important for all of us. As we were creating this meditation today for you and talking about how we wanted you to make a healing shift. I was saying, teachers always teach what they need to hear. And again, we are using these tools and techniques that we're teaching you in the Activate Enlightenment weekend and Saturdays. And we need them because there is, we're always being triggered.
We use them every day.
Yeah. I mean, we're always being triggered. We're being triggered by the news, by our friends, by the world and group consciousness. Like Doria said, there's grief, sorrow, drama, trauma. There's so much loss out there. And so it's very important that all of us make the decision to absolutely do what it takes to love ourselves enough to show up as the best version of who we are and to move beyond those programs. And I just want to say, Doria, that at the BSC school, Doria invited me to be one of the speakers there, and it was such an honor. But what happened was when Doria gave me 4 hours on Friday night at the end of the whole thing, and what I was doing was taking people through some of the Activate Enlightenment processes and neutralizing and deleting a lot of their unconscious programs on the spot, on the stage. And what was interesting for me was the next day they completed their entire program with what was it, Doria? It's the
Olympics. It's a race where they run and they swim.
Right. And can you imagine, some of these people had never been in the water before. Some of them didn't run. Some of them had knees and hips that they couldn't walk. They'd already said to their teammates, "We're sorry, you're not going to win the money, honey, because we'll come last. I can't move. I can't do this. I'm too afraid." There were so many stories that were going on that seemed to be true. And what I found interesting was the next night when they gave all of the money to all of the people who came first, second, and third. Of the 5 people in the number 1 team, I had worked with all 5 of them on the stage. Of the 4 out of 5 in the second team and 3 out of the 5 in the third team. And they had all had these incredible clearings the night before that they went into this, and they all knew that they couldn't do it. And exactly the opposite happened. And that's what happens when you clear out unconscious beliefs, programs, ideas, and stories, that you turn your life around in an instant. And the massive healing that happens is phenomenal. So we want you to take advantage of this opportunity to work with us for 4 Saturdays in May. If you can't make the 4 of them, make it for 1 of them. And if you can make the 4 and you invest in full, when you invest in full for all of them, you save $200. It's only $997 for the entire 4 days with us and the whole month.
Ask yourself, what would the best version of me do?
Well, we know what the best version of them would do. They would come on and they would invest in the 4 Saturdays, and you would get the one-on-one private session with me valued at $1,500. So I'd love to open this up if any of you have anything that you'd like to share about how you're feeling, because we've been talking to let you come back to earth, because after a meditation like that, it's no point saying to you, do you want to share, because we know that it's really hard to open your mouth. So anybody got anything they'd like to share or questions that they would like to ask us? We're here for you.
I have a question.
Yes. Is that you, Davina?
Yes.
Hang on, I'm trying to unpin us so that we can see everyone. How do I do that?
It's not pinned.
It's not pinned. All right. I should be able to see you, but I can't. All right. Sorry, Davina. Can everyone else see Davina, or is it just us that can't see her?
I can't see her.
Okay. Just let me try something else. Unpin video. Okay, Davina, talk now and let's see. Oh, here I know what to do. That one. Okay. So Davina.
Wow, it was a really beautiful meditation. Thank you for that. Wow, this is really strange. I'm seeing somebody else, not you.
Just pretend you're seeing me at the moment.
We see you.
We see you.
Okay, great. Gosh, that threw me off. Now I'm like blank. Oh, yes. Okay, so I've done a lot of meditation, and this just gave me a lot of energy. I was already energized. Is there such thing as doing this too much?
Really not.
Because I'm just wired and high and, energized. Even yesterday, I had a hard time sleeping, and this just took me to even deeper levels. So I was just wondering, can this be overdone, or do you just continue and you're fine? Or, I mean, I guess not.
And higher.
This is the reason why you do this work with us, Davina, because you're expanding the container that you're in. You're expanding what you can cope with on a physical level. And yes, there can be some headaches and there can be some pain and physicality whilst you're readjusting to this high frequency. And that's what you're doing. And you're doing it rapidly, because let's face it, Davina is a member of our Platinum Life certification program.
And she is a diligent student.
Yeah, and she's also a member of our membership program. So when you asked, can I overdo it? I understand why you're asking that, because you're on a call with us once a week, every week. But no, you can't overdo it. This is like, what the training you're going through and what you're going through and what you've put yourself in for. Imagine if you were in India and you were with a teacher there, you would be with them daily. And so this is really, we're quantum leaping the process of you being able to empower and live in enlightened states of happiness and joy. So just enjoy the ride, sweetheart.
Okay. Did you want me to give feedback on?
Yeah, sure. If you'd like to tell people what your experience of Activate Enlightenment, what the benefits have been.
Well, before I worked with you guys, I remember I struggled getting clients in my programs. And now I've been working with you a little over a year now. It's been unbelievable. Just people stop me or even contact me on Facebook. Who are you? What are you doing? I feel your energy, your incredible energy. You look radiant now. I remember you a year ago. What happened? And and it's just unreal. I hardly, I'm not advertising as much anymore. Just clients come to me. It's really miraculous. If you're having problems with money or your life flowing, this is it. I've tried many programs, but this is by far what has helped me break through. So
thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Davina. Yeah, that's the reason why we do the work, so that that can happen. Anybody else like to? Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to say anything?
I would.
Yes.
Satya here.
Satya.
Well, I really want to use the words magic carpet today. I do, because everything is frequency, and really the power of this work, besides the fact that there's a really incredible structure to the process, which is really worth learning, and I'm getting better at it, and the more you work it, the better you get, and the faster you can make the shifts. But just purely on a frequency level, working with Sandra and Daniel, doing this work, it's like stepping on a magic carpet ride. It's like this, elevator onto a faster path, a much faster track of getting into higher frequency and embodying it. And I would say from the time I did my first Activate Enlightenment, that was July of, I guess, a year and a half ago, maybe a little, almost. We're getting closer to 2 years now. But anyway, my income more than doubled, or maybe even approached tripling, but for sure more than doubled in the first 6 months to a year of working with them. And but more than that, just a lightness and a sense of being in the flow and being able to relax and trust that I live in abundance, and that what is needed is naturally coming to me. And although I had realized some of that, there was like this powerful integration that happened for me when I stepped into your field, and from that time on. So it's like, I want to emphasize what you said, Sandra, all the things you've ever done. What'll happen is that you'll realize more of the potential of everything else you've already done and invested in and in practices. Because sometimes it's these subtle levels of what was unconscious that just didn't get recognized or didn't get released. It was like this little thing, but massively, it meant everything, like the linchpin, right? So anyway, and like tonight, I really could see this incredible influence of my Russian ancestors in the pogroms, and the poverty, and that whole thing just sort of like a kind of a little layer, a blanket kind of in the space of everything that's been going on with COVID-19. And I just felt like, like I'm on that magic carpet and I'm just wishing it away. So anyway,
Satya, thank you.
you certainly would be very grateful to yourself if you invest in doing this program.
And Satya, thank you. And Satya also is in our Platinum Life Coaching and Mentorship Program and the membership program. So you've got some pretty high frequency people on this call at the moment. And Chris, I know that you're on the call. I'm not sure if you still are or not, but Chris Menzel, I will never forget the first time I met you. It was at in Phuket, and I had just come off the stage from 4 hours of working with about 100 people, and you just wrapped those big bare arms of you around me and said, that was mastership. And I was like, oh, thank you. It was such a beautiful thing. So Satya, thank you. Chris, are you still on the line? Are you here?
Yes, I am.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. So nice to see you too.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Every time I work with you, I have such beautiful experiences. And the last time, it really reminded me of a near-death experience that I went through many years ago, almost 30 years ago. And I got into a space of clarity after our weekend. that I had not revisited in 30 years. I'm so grateful. I'm so amazed about your work.
I loved what you said. You said that you had had a near-death experience, as I have too. Probably a lot of people on this call have. And it's where you go into that state where you understand the reality of what life is, that it is love, and if it's not love, it's not real. And I know that when you're trying to come to that place again, you know, you can try very hard. I know that you know, you can do drugs, you can do programs, you can do all sorts of things, but activate enlightenment with the energy that we give actually does take people into those states, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, this was it.
Yes, it does. And I think that the magic is that you're attacking it from so many different sides. Yeah, it is like you have to put in 9 different keys into a lock, into 9 different locks to unlock that state.
Yes, it's 8. 8.
8, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay, darling. We'll create a new one, another one for you if you like.
We used to use 9, but we cut it down to 8.
Yeah, no, it's great. Chris, thank you for being here. Is anybody else, and I'm so glad that you're in that state and then we get to work together, my beautiful soul brother. And thank you, Doria, for bringing this man into our lives.
Thank you, God.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Has anyone else got anything that they'd like to ask, either about the program or to share about what you've been through tonight? Because we're very happy to answer it. If you're wanting to come into the program and work with us, you can email me at info@thebiskinds.com, and I've also put the link in here where you can go to, and you can register again, remember, for only $297 for one whole Saturday, or save almost $200, and for $997 you can register for all 4 Saturdays and spend the week with us. By the way, the moment you commit and make the decision to work with us, that's the moment we begin working with you on a quantum field. And some of you will know that we actually do that. Anybody else got anything that they would like to share before we say good night and how much we do love and adore you?
Sandra.
Yes.
This is Ricky. I'm Doria, business partner in Malaysia.
Welcome.
I just want to say, even though I've done so much work on myself the last 20 plus years, and I'm still benefiting from you, from this session and the last session, and I look forward to working with you in May.
Thank
That's
God.
what I feel like saying.
Oh, yay.
I'm pleased. And, you know, and I'm sure that we must organise something with Doria, but I would love to come to Malaysia and bring this work to Malaysia. I think it would be, you know, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it'll be so wonderful for all the money and new graduates. I think it will take them to another level. You know,
Yes,
so we could even...
Money and You is so profound. It's such a brilliant program for those of you who haven't done it yet on this call. It's a very profound program. I mean, it's a push, isn't it? And it's an eye-opener. And then with this program, it's the one where you go in and everything and all of these beautiful things that you have learned, that you know to be true about business and money for you, you get to be able to use all of those tools with grace and ease once you've done it. Anybody else got anything they'd like to say? I can hear some. Huh?
Somebody making a lot of noise.
Okay, so we're just going to say good night. It's 8:09. We love you, and because these free events have been so popular, and we can feel the healing energy that's happening, we're going to be doing this event again. Not this one, but a new meditation again next Friday night at 7 o'clock. Is that something, Doria?
Yes, we're going to come right straight in. I was just going to say, I really want to acknowledge Wendy. Wendy is one of the most successful women in engineering, if you can believe this. If you think that there's stuff in the American world between men and women, I can't begin to tell you about Malaysia. And she is one of the most successful in the business of engineering. And that she has this whole spiritual side to her. I mean, it's like you go all the way from one side of the most left brain business And she just this beautiful work on herself constantly. She's just divine. And for her to be doing this is, I'm just so happy for you, Wendy, and so happy for all of us, because she really uplifts all of Malaysia. She is a leader there, and one of the most beautiful, kind women.
Well, we'll be honored. Well, no wonder she's your partner then, Doria. We'll be honored to work with you, Wendy. And yeah, I mean, to each and every one of you, we're so thrilled to be with you. We will be here next week, and we'll be doing another meditation. And of course, we'll tell you about Activated Enlightenment again. But know that as we're speaking, we're actually still giving you transformative energy. Can you guys feel that? We don't stop. We just continue, no matter what we're saying. We could be just reading a book, a caption or something, and you'd still be getting this high frequency energy field. So until next Friday, and please stay in this Facebook group. We come in here almost every day. Come in, ask questions, share what you're going through. And this recording will be up there hopefully tomorrow afternoon, depending on my staff. We love you and look forward to working with you soon. God bless you all.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye, everyone. It's good to see my classmates from Platinum.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Can you
Aloha.
hear me?
Hi, Natalie.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wait, is Sandra still here? Or did she leave?